This is like not a story about me needing to forgive somebody, but me asking somebody else like for forgiveness. I had a roommate when I was in graduate school. I would say overall, for the most part, we had a really good relationship. I had a lot of like really complicated feelings though, like about her, because we were in grad school together and in the same program. Like I was really jealous of her. It was like very competitive of her. She kind of made me very anxious to be around. And I would say that I was never like outright mean to her. Like there was never like an event I could point to where we had like a really blow up fight or whatever. But I would definitely say I was not very nice to her. And I would say that she really felt how like anxious I was to be around her. And I kind of like started to avoid her. I knew that she was hurt by that. And I felt guilty because, for lots of reasons, because I knew that I wasn't being very nice. I knew that I wasn't being healthy about how I was handling my emotions. And I also knew that she knew that I was a Christian, and I did not think I was a very good witness of Christ and what that meant. One of the reasons I decided to actually ask her to go to lunch and kind of like apologize to her was after going through redemption groups like last spring. Like a big idol for me for a pretty decent part of my adult life has been like my work and finding identity in work and feeling kind of like satisfaction and being like in like getting publications and kind of using that as like a metric for kind of my own like self-worth and like in who I am. And kind of being like, okay, I can kind of feel like okay about myself because I'm doing X, Y, and Z, which really came out, I think, in redemption groups as part of thinking about these like idols. We were at a conference last fall, and I actually had lunch with her. And I was like, I know this is 7 years too late, but I just wanted to say that I was not very nice to you, and I'm really sorry. Kind of part of me just wanted to kind of like leave the relationship alone and like not have to think about it again and just kind of like just go on with my life, but I felt really compelled to apologize to her. And also as part of that process was me also kind of trying to forgive myself for how I acted and how I was with her. I look back at all of that and just think about how much regret I have. A big part of why I was trying to avoid like talking to her about it was kind of this like, I kind of wanted to avoid having to think about it in terms of myself. I have asked God for forgiveness, and theoretically, I believe He has forgiven me.
Theoretically?
Because I feel like that theoretically, because I still struggle with kind of believing those things. And then there's a big part that's like, I struggle to forgive myself. I kind of think back to these kind of things and like other things in my life, and all I can do is just kind of be like, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I did that. And like, but something that I'm trying to remember is that it's not so much, it's not as important like whether I forgive myself, but kind of like realizing and knowing that God has forgiven me. It sounds good to say that. Feel like that's the right answer. If my identity is in God, then kind of like how He sees me should shape who I see myself rather than like how I see myself.